Today I'll share with you how I trick myself to keep motivation up, keep constantly improving, and keep pursuing my goals while feeling that's less of an effort. Some time ago, I took a personality test that actually changed my approach to motivation and productivity. I'll share the results of my personal tests with you in a moment and how to use them. But first, let's consider the bigger picture. When we set a goal for ourselves, maintaining high motivation is a very common challenge. But what would happen if you could take motivation completely out of the equation, knowing that you would be automatically motivated just by the way you've built your goals? Well, you can actually do that by knowing yourself better and understanding your core strengths so that you automatically tap into them to push yourself further. The way I did that is by exploiting the results of a test I took a few years ago. The test is called the Clifton Strengths Assessment, and before going any further, I just want to clarify that I have no affiliation with them whatsoever. They're not a sponsor. This video is just me sharing my own experience. I'll include all the relevant links in the video notes down below. I actually discovered this test when I bought a book called Now Discover Your Strengths, which includes a link to the test. The book details 34 different strengths, which are things that you can be inherently good at, such as adaptability, focus, productivity, and the test allows you to highlight your top 5 so that you actually know what you're naturally good at. In my case, and I'll go into more details in a moment, the test highlighted the 5 following strengths in that specific order. First, learner. 2, achiever. 3, analytical. 4, responsibility. And 5, relator, which is the capacity to develop deep relationships. I was actually excited by these results, and especially with my top strength as learner, because it is true that I definitely love learning anything. When I shared these findings with my wife, she looked at me like I was the dumbest person alive. Really? You really needed to take a test to realize that? It's obvious that you need to learn all the time. The thing is, although it was obvious that I love to learn, it wasn't obvious to me that it was one of my key drivers, or that it was my top strengths above anything else, and very important, that it actually sets me apart and I can do this better than others. Repeat that for your top 5 and you actually get a fairly unique profile to understand how you operate and what you're good at and what motivates you. Going back to the results, I'll summarize what each of them means, and then we'll get into how I use them to build motivation in my day-to-day. Learner, as you've understood, means that I'm in it for the learning experience. The topic doesn't even really matter as long as I can learn. Achiever means that every single day I need to feel like I've achieved something, that I have made some kind of progress. It also means that not feeling that and feeling that I'm stuck might demotivate me. Analytical means that I am very logical, rigorous, and need data to prove things and get to the bottom of whatever might be under discussion. Responsibility means that I take ownership of the things I commit to, and once I've committed, there is no letting go. It also means that I can coat into things just because I committed to them, when actually letting go would be the smart thing. Relator means that I need to develop deep, genuine relationships. To avoid making this video too long, I'll focus on how I use the top 3, but if you'd like a more detailed video at some point in the future, please let me know in the comments. When I approach a goal, I use these strengths in the following way. Let's take this channel as an example, and let's say I want to grow it. I'm aiming for the moon and want to grow it to 10k, 100k, a million subscribers. That's an enormous goal. You can actually take me one step closer by subscribing now. But what setting that type of goal would actually mean to me is that now I have an enormous task that could actually feel quite discouraging. But I believe there are ways to get there by designing the process to tap into my strength. First, As a learner, for every single video, I ask myself what I can learn along the way. Luckily enough, there is no shortage of things to learn when editing videos. Writing better script, improving lighting, improving sound, getting better at filming, editing video, designing thumbnail, promoting the videos. The list is virtually endless. For each video, I take one, sometimes two elements that I'm going to learn and try to improve. That's actually enough to keep me going, and it makes it fun enough for me to want to spend time on this and be motivated by default. However, number two, as an achiever, I need to be able to see progress. To make sure I stay motivated, I break down any project I have into smaller tasks that are actually small enough to be completed in one sitting. This way, at the end of each day, I look at what I've done and I can see the task got completed, taking me one step closer to my goal. For example, making a video is way too big to qualify as a task. It needs to be broken down into manageable bits. For example, writing a first draft of the script can be a task. Writing an outline can be a task. Filming is another task, but editing needs to be broken down. It needs to be broken down into bringing the actual footage together, then adding the animation, adding the sound, etc., etc. But this way I can see that every task gets completed and I can see that I'm actually making progress. Each task will take anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 to 3 hours to complete, but they are manageable in one sitting, allowing me to mark each of them as done and feel like I've made progress. Also, because they are achievable, that actually motivates me to do them so that I can add them to my done list and reinforce this particular dynamic. Number three, analytical. I need to get data and analyze stuff. What I can do is link what actions I'm taking to the data that YouTube actually gives me. Did I see an increase in the number of subscribers, the number of views, the number of impressions, or maybe the comments? To help me see that, you can always comment down below and let me know what you think. All of these are data points that I can use to understand what works and what doesn't, modify my process, and try new things in the following videos. With all that at hand, I can link any task to one or more of my 5 strengths. If I can manage to do that, if I can link a task to a strength, I know I won't have to motivate myself because motivation is built in the system and I will deeply want to actually do it. On the other hand, if I can't link any task to one of my 5 strengths, then I know I'm in trouble. I know that I will have a rough time going through it and it won't be fun. Typically, administrative tasks are difficult to link to any of my 5 strengths and it's not my forte. But at least I know that and I can mentally prepare myself to do them and to go through that rough patch, or I can try to delegate them maybe to someone who's better at it than I am. I've only been working on that channel for a few months, but so far I never got to a point where I thought, I don't feel like it, I'll work on that some other day. Working on it actually feels natural by using that system, and it feels like that's what I want to do, and that is the whole point of that system and that video. If you've taken that test or take it in the future, please let me know your results. Use the comments to let me know what your strengths are, how you use them, and if you don't know how to use them, to ask questions and let's think about it together. I hope you liked this video. Please comment, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget, it's okay to face challenges. We all do. Let's keep making progress together.